A Formula One brake disc can spike past 1000 degrees Celsius or 1832 degrees Fahrenheit under heavy braking. That is not warm brakes, that is metal glowing like it belongs in a forge. And sitting just millimeters away from that heat is the caliper, holding the pads, pistons, seals, and brake fluid that your foot is trusting with your life. Your street car uses the same physics, just on a smaller scale. So how hot do brake calipers actually get, and when does hot become dangerous? Every time you press the brake pedal, your car is doing something violent but controlled. It is turning motion into heat. A moving car has kinetic energy. When the pads squeeze the rotor, friction resists rotation, and that energy becomes thermal energy. It does not vanish. It becomes heat in the rotor, heat in the pads, heat in the caliper, and heat in the air around the wheel. A tiny parking lot stop barely warms anything. A high-speed stop can make the whole brake assembly smell hot. In normal street driving, the hottest brake hardware, usually the rotor face and pad surface, can commonly reach around 150 to 300 degrees Celsius, or about 300 and 570 degrees Fahrenheit during repeated stops, traffic, or faster road driving. The caliper body usually runs cooler than the pad and rotor because it is not the main friction surface. But it still absorbs heat through the pads, pistons, brackets, and trapped air inside the wheel area. Cooler does not mean cold. Think of the rotor as the frying pan, the pad as the food touching the pan, and the caliper as the heavy metal clamp holding everything in place. The caliper is not on the burner directly, but leave it there long enough and it absolutely heats up. That is why the caliper matters. It provides clamping force, holds the pad square against the rotor, houses the pistons, protects the seals, and keeps the brake fluid isolated from the worst of the heat. If the rotor is the heat generator, then the heat manager is the caliper. Now turn the dial up. Under aggressive braking, like a highway emergency stop, a loaded mountain descent, repeated back road braking, or a track day, documented performance brake data suggests rotor bulk temperatures often move into the 400 to 600 degrees Celsius range. That is about 750 to 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. Local pad contact temperatures can be higher. The caliper body is still usually cooler than that, but this is where the danger begins because the caliper contains the parts that hate heat the most. This is where brake fade enters the story. Brake fade is not one single failure. It is a family of heat-related failures that all feel like the car suddenly forgot how to stop. First, pad fade. The pad compound gets too hot for its designed operating window and its friction drops. It is like a tire losing grip when it overheats and goes greasy. Then come surface problems. The transfer layer can become uneven, the surface can glaze, and the rotor may discolor. Blue, purple, or dark gray rotors are warning signs of serious heat. Then there is fluid fade, the one that makes drivers panic. Brake fluid is supposed to be almost incompressible. Press the pedal, the fluid transmits force, the pistons move, and the pads clamp the rotor. But if the fluid boils, you get vapor bubbles. Vapor compresses. Liquid does not. So instead of your pedal force moving the pads, part of your pedal travel is now squashing bubbles. That is vapor lock in plain English, stepping on a hydraulic system that suddenly has air-like pockets inside it. This is why brake fluid ratings matter. Minimum dry boiling points are roughly 205 degrees Celsius or 401 degrees Fahrenheit for DOT3. DOT4 is about 230 degrees Celsius or 446 degrees Fahrenheit. DOT 5.1 is about 260 degrees Celsius or 500 degrees Fahrenheit. But wet boiling points are lower, about 140 degrees Celsius for DOT3, 155 for DOT4, and 180 for DOT 5.1. Dry means fresh fluid from a sealed container. Wet means fluid that has absorbed moisture over time. Here is the simplest way to picture it. New brake fluid is like dry firewood. It takes serious heat to make it fail. Old moisture-loaded fluid is like damp cardboard near a flame. It gives up much sooner. That is why old brake fluid can make a normal braking system feel fine around town, then suddenly feel terrifying during a long downhill or repeated hard stops. Caliper material changes the heat story too. Aluminum calipers are light and conduct heat well, so they can shed heat quickly, but they can also move heat toward the pistons if the design is poor. Cast iron is heavier and tough, but it stores heat longer. Titanium is often used as a heat barrier, for example in pistons or shims, because it conducts heat much more slowly than aluminum. Race brake setups are not only about braking force, they are also about keeping heat away from the fluid. Now we get to the part that looks fake even when it is real. Formula 1 carbon-carbon brake discs are publicly documented to exceed 1000 degrees Celsius or 1832 degrees Fahrenheit during heavy braking. Endurance racing systems are also extreme. In top-level endurance racing, documented brake disc temperatures can fluctuate around 250 to 850 degrees Celsius or about 482 to 1562 degrees Fahrenheit over a long race. But that is disc temperature, not caliper temperature. The engineering challenge in motorsport is keeping heat where it belongs, in the rotor, and preventing it from cooking the caliper, seals, and fluid. Formula 1 uses carbon-carbon composite brakes because they are light, stable at brutal temperatures, and capable of repeated high-energy stops. But you cannot just bolt them onto a daily driver. Carbon-carbon brakes need heat to work properly. Public Formula 1 brake data describes a working range around 350 to 550 degrees Celsius or 662 to 1022 degrees Fahrenheit. Too cold, and they perform badly. That orange glow you see on race cars is black body radiation. Dinner table version: when an object gets hot enough, the heat it emits shifts from invisible infrared into visible light. Solids can begin glowing visibly red in the dark around 400 degrees Celsius or 752 degrees Fahrenheit. A red glow visible in daylight is around 525 degrees Celsius or 975 degrees Fahrenheit. At Le Mans, top-class hypercars can brake more than 4,000 times across 24 hours, with many braking events from over 200 kilometers per hour or 124 miles per hour. For your car, the warning signs are usually clear: a sharp burning smell, a longer or spongier pedal, needing more pressure for the same stop, smoke, squealing after a hard run, rotor discoloration, or vibration after overheating. If you drive normally on flat roads, the factory brake system usually has enough thermal margin. But if you do track days, tow heavy loads, drive fast on mountain roads, or brake repeatedly from high speed, the weak link changes. The first upgrade is often fresh, high-temperature fluid, then pads matched to your use. A big brake kit does not automatically mean better cooling. Larger calipers can improve stiffness, pad area, piston distribution, and thermal capacity, but cooling depends on where heat goes and how fast it leaves. Bigger ventilated rotors and brake ducts often matter more because they add thermal mass and airflow. Bedding pads also matters because it creates an even transfer layer on the rotor for stable friction. So remember the numbers: street braking 150 to 300 degrees Celsius, track braking 400 to 600, Formula 1 over 1000. Have you ever smelled your brakes after a hard mountain descent?